The battle for Azeroth also adds a bunch of new vicious mounts to go along with the new allied races, so something you may want to do now is to save any saddle you get if you want to be one of the first ones to get these new mounts when they're added. You get these saddles from winning 100 arena battles or 40 rated battlegrounds per season. I'll show you the possible candidates here. You have the Vicious War River Beast for the Alliance, it looks like, and the War Clefthoof for the Horde. You also have the Dark Hound, which is possibly Alliance, although it's not confirmed. And you also have a Basilisk for both sides, so if you prefer these over any of the current ones, hold on to a saddle for when they get released. Something else mount related is in preparation. You should grab a water starter mount if you're playing a class that doesn't have water walking. Off the top of my head, that's anyone but Death Knights or Shamans, right? Why? Well, there's a ton of water in the new zones we'll be leveling in, and just like in Legion, we won't have flying at first, so to save yourself a headache with traversing Kul Tiras or Zandalar, make sure you pick up a water strider mount. There are two different ones, and the easiest one is from the Anglers, which is a faction located right here in the Crasterring Wilds in Pandaria. You can do some dailies here to grind out reputation until you're exalted, at which point you can buy the mount. And another way is to just grind those reputation tokens from Pandaria Time Walking, which is way less effort in my opinion. And something kind of minor but still handy I think, is to pick up the repurposed Fel Focuser. This is the infinite use flask, and this will be something handy in general for the first few weeks of BFA. You can pop this while leveling, and even at 120, since I imagine the latest flasks will be ridiculously priced for a while. So this can be a cheaper alternative to give you a minor stat boost. Hey, it's better than nothing, and it's super easy to get. You just need Revered with the armies of the Legionfall faction on the Broken Shore, and it costs just 7,500 nether shards from the War Mage Kathleen vendor found in the Deliverance Point hub. You can get that in a few of those Legion invasions that pop up every now and then. And speaking of which, if you don't know, these are great for leveling your alts from 98 to 110. You can get all the way there with these alone, and it's probably the most efficient way to level in terms of time spent. But if you've leveled alts with these, you'd know that soloing them can be pretty tough. Especially those boss mobs. You pretty much have to use the group finder, or wait for other people to show up. Well, when the battle for Azeroth launches, there's going to be way fewer people in the Broken Isles in general, so you're better off leveling any alts for these invasions now, while everyone is still doing them. And another thing that'll be harder come battle for Azeroth is the fishing stuff. Throughout the Broken Isles, you can find these NPCs that you can grind reputation for, and you get various toys and a mount even. You got Conjurer Margas outside of Dalaran, Keeper Renee in Val'Shara, Akule Riverhorn in High Mountain, and etc. A trick you can do to farm these reputations faster is to group up for them. You can find groups in your group finder, just like the invasions, and it really speeds it up. So it's the same mindset here, just like with the invasions, far fewer people will be doing this stuff come the expansion, so if you want to be as efficient as possible, you should work on these now. This video is getting a little long, so if this is all new to you and you don't know where to start, I'll just have a link to a Wowhead guide on how all of that works in the description to start you off. And another thing that'll be harder is all of the underbelly stuff. In the sewers of Dalaran, you can do some PvE and PvP, and as a reward, you get a currency called Sightless Eyes, which you can use to buy patterns, pets, and if you get 20,000 of them total, you'll get an achievement that gives you the Rat Stallion mount. PvPing is the fastest method of getting these eyes, so that's another thing you want to knock out now while there's still people playing the expansion. Occasionally, you can find farming groups in your group finder, and if you want to see a full list of rewards, I'll have another link in the description for you. Alright, sort of winding down here, Something else you should probably do is dump all of your trade materials if you've been hanging on to them. When new expansions roll around, all of the trade goods from the previous expansions usually crash since, well, no one needs them anymore. Especially now, since the professions are going to be split up by expansions in 8.0, so there's no need to grind profession skill points from the previous expansion to get to the next one. I'm sure a lot of you use that deposit reagents button for your bank, so when you get the time, go through your stock and sell them before they crash. The same may also be true for your Bloods of Sargeras, depending on your profession. I know you can make some good stuff with these, including a mount even, but if you don't have access to that, you may want to trade them in for trade materials from this vendor in Dalaran. If they treat the order halls like they did with the garrisons in Draenor, they'll be removing those gold missions, so you won't have much use for them for those resource caches for too much longer. And the last thing I wanted to mention here is if you're a mount collector, you should start stocking up on time walking badges. And that's because for every new expansion, we get another expansion in the time walking, so when the Battle for Azeroth launches, we should get Draenor time walking, and if it follows the scheme with the other time walking events, there should be a mount associated with it. So you can prepare for that now by making sure that you have some badges stocked up so you can buy it right away. It should be 5,000 badges total. Alright, that's about it I guess. I think that's most, if not all of the important things, at least from everything we know so far. Some of the major, some of the minor, and it's all dependent on your preferences and what you really care about, so pick and choose what you want. That's the thing